Well, oh my goodness. It's been a while since we've talked to this lovely person. And every time I get together with her, it's always a lot of fun. It's always because she has something huge going on. There's always something exciting going on in her world. And right now is no different. I told you at the top of the show, she's got a new book coming out. It's the sequel to the Amulet of Elements. I always get the things confused. The Amulet of the Elements. It was a great novel. The sequel's coming out in June. It's The Face of the Realm. That comes out on June 21st. It's Rose Marie Machario, ladies and gentlemen. Here she is.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me on today.
You're welcome, and thank you for being here. Things are a little different than the last time we did this together. I was just thinking about it last night. The last time you were on this show, it was literally days before the pandemic started. And we were able to get together, and I remember we talked about all of these appearances that you were going to do, all the book tour stuff, like there was all this stuff, and then literally the next week you shut down. Everything was gone. And then I watched your page as you said this was canceled and this was canceled. I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. But luckily things have it goes up and down. It picks up and then kind of slows down during all this, but it hasn't stopped you from your creativity, which is what is beautiful about that. And you've started you've written a new book, and then the series continues, because this is a part of a series, correct?
The Magic of the Chosen Ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a very long series, but. Yeah, so this is the second one, and it continues Princess Illyria Rose's destiny in trying to basically save the fate of the realm from the evil wizard Brawl. So the epic saga continues, and there's so much more going on in book 2. Oh my gosh, I love book 2. And now, you gotta think, I started writing these a long time ago. I'm talking 2011.
Oh.
Took 9 years to get the first book published. But during that time, I had already written book 2, had already written book 3, and I'm currently in the process of doing an outline for book 4. So I'm ahead of the game. I feel very, very fortunate, being with Seventh Star Press. And when I met with them initially in 2018 about my saga and talking about the series and my plans for the Magic of the Chosen Ones, but we hadn't even had a series title because I hadn't even thought of that. I mean, I kind of did, but it was really cheesy. I was going to call it The Adventures of Princess Illyria Rose.
Nothing wrong with that. It's simple. It gets the whole point out there.
Right. But then whenever I finished book 3 and had my cliffhanger, an epilogue, and of course I can't jump all the way to talking about that. I'm like, I really need to rethink this series title. So I went back and I was thinking, okay, and I had all these different titles for the series title, and I was like, okay, well, this one makes the most sense, and I'll leave it at that. The Magic of the Chosen Ones just makes total sense. And as it goes on and as the series develops, the readers will get it. I don't feel like I'm leaving the readers in scratching their head that's it. But with book 2, it's going to be, it's high fantasy. It's high fantasy, it's just like the first one, but there's still that whole realm of adventure and romance and nod to fairy tales, but we get a little bit more grown up.
Oh, a little more mature, do we?
Yeah, a lot more mature, a lot more. If I could put a rating on, if I had to put a rating,
yes,
it would be rated either I would say MA for mature audiences for sure. I'm talking Game of Thrones, Outlander, things of that nature that you see on HBO, Stars, Netflix,
So it's not something you would air like on a Saturday morning type thing.
No. Isn't the MA over on R rating?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep. So we're definitely over the R rating.
Ooh.
So it's definitely everything that you love in fantasy, but it's for adults. I mean, let me tell you, adults dive in and enjoy this, but don't let your kids read it.
Don't let it.
No. I mean, if you are totally open and you're fine with, your 16, 17-year-old watching Game of Thrones, watching Outlander, and you don't bat an eye, or even The Last Kingdom. I mean, if you're super cool with them watching those things, then by all means, let them read it. Book one had a lot of adult themes, but I mean, you read it. I mean,
There were, but it didn't like go to. It went to like to the edge, but then it kind of stopped right there.
Yes. So we going all the way, baby.
We're off the cliff. We're like Wile E. Coyote. We splat on the ground on this book.
Yes. There's new characters.
Ooh.
There's characters who you're like, wow, okay. And then it's that journey that the princess gets to truly do that coming of age. She had that coming of age epiphany.
Right.
In book one. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Right.
Oh, God. I don't need a man. So if you've not read book one, I mean, that is a little bit of a spoiler, but, when it boils down to it, you really need to catch up on book one if you want to read book two, because, yeah, sure. I mean, if somebody just picks it up and grabs it and starts reading it, that's great. I mean, you're going to get a nice little catch up, in the prologue. And I can say that. And then little bit by little bit, there are pieces that say, okay, hey, remember this when this happened in book one? And it's just the characters reliving, those memories.
Right.
Did this. But it's going to be a lot more intense. And aside from the new characters, there's going to be new places.
Ooh.
And there's going to be new realms and new premonitions and new powers and powers under control. And Princess Illyria is going to be different. She's going to show that maturity, but also that vulnerability. That when you're faced with something new that we all go through, we're like, we literally have those, what the fuck am I going to do?
Right.
What am I doing here?
And in her world, it's a lot more extreme.
Yes.
Yeah.
The great thing I love about writing, high fantasy, and I mean, you have that one character that literally the fate of the realm is in her hands. But then you have some other characters along the way to kind of help you along, just like in Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. I mean, you had Frodo and he had his mission, but you know what? He had Samwise Gamgee and he had the dwarf and he had, the really handsome dude and some elves and and he had a really great wizard that kept him on his path and like, look, this is how it's gonna be and you've got to do this,
right?
So Princess Illyria has her little band of merry men and people to help her along the way, and then she's also got this like Jiminy Cricket character that's kind of stepping in and like, we got to do this. This is what we got to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to help you along, but I'm going to tell you like it is. You know, and so there's just like so many things, and it's just like, wow. And something else that I really dived into a little bit more with book 2 is like, I've got freedom. I've got all of this set into place, and this is going to speak volumes because literally we're in, part 1, we're part 2, this is part 3, and each part gives you a little bit of something with a character, doing like this great introduction to the next part of the book.
Right.
And I want to give these little morsels away because then it's gonna, like, I feel like it's really gonna draw the readers, especially the fans from book 1, and to give them what they've been waiting for. I mean, they've been waiting 2 years. It's been 2 years since the Amulet of Elements came
right
out. And I really am so excited about this. And even my editor's like, your readers are going to love this.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised, because if it's anything like the first book, I mean, it's going to blow you out of the water. It's going to be intense. It's going to be amazing.
Better.
Exactly.
Better. Like, I can say, like, I so enjoyed editing it. Like, I had to do, like, I had turned in my edits, and then when my editor came back with me and said, hey, look, I've did my thing and I've made these suggestions and these changes, and it's a matter of, okay, like, I got to read over the red lines and the red all that stuff. And I just loved reading back over the book.
Right.
I loved reading back over the story because I had not read over it since I sent in my main edits 2 years before. And because I started getting right back into the edits after the first book came out, because, I wanted to make sure, boom, a year later, this book 2 was going to be ready, but then COVID happened. And that's all I got to say to COVID.
Middle fingers indeed.
Yes. I mean,
because I was gonna ask, did the pandemic
my life,
right,
my perspective on things, and after having like all this time to think about just how precious life is, and just how many things that we take for granted, and I've always been a philosophical person. I do yoga every morning. I meditate. I'm pagan, and I try to take in the energy of everything that is living, indoors, outdoors, all of it. And when you think about these things and you start looking and your mind is open and your eyes are open, you start seeing signs and you start seeing synchronicities, and there are all these things that it's like, I feel like I'm on the right path.
Right.
This is what I am meant to do. I am meant, and I always felt in my heart of hearts, 9, 10, 11, 12 years ago when I started writing the first book. And, I kept getting so just total despair over the 9 years of like the hundreds of rejection letters that I got from agents, small publishing houses, and it was just depressing. And I'm like, other people would give me advice, and writing communities and Twitter, and even the agents would come back and say, look, write something else. Do something else. And I did. I wrote like a children's book, and I wrote a paranormal horror erotica mix.
Nice.
And I did contemporary romance just to kind of bounce around. I bounced around at different point of views, and writing a different different person, and doing that, it was like, okay, I'm ready to go back to my fantasy series. I mean, those characters are screaming in my head,
right?
And it was just coming out of me, and it wouldn't stop. I'm like, I don't care what anybody else says. I'm doing what I feel in my gut to do. And I really feel that the right publishing house is going to see what I see. And they did with Seven Star Press.
That's for sure.
So grateful to my publisher, Steven Zimmer, and my editor, Holly Felipe. And I'm just so grateful to them because they gave me a chance and they listened to my story and what my princess had to say. So I felt like it was a match made in heaven, with that. So I'm super stoked about book 2. And I really hope the readers are as stoked as I am, because, I've read through it and, reading it again, and I edited it twice. Not just once this time around. Like, I went back over it again after I did everything that my editor suggested.
We're talking the fine-toothed combs. Yes.
And I just wanted it as practically perfect as it could possibly be. And, double dotting my I's and magic. And, and making sure that, I didn't miss anything. And just to make sure that it was just a damn good story, to tell a good story. I wanted my characters to tell their story and to take you by the hand and lead you into their realm. And I'm so looking forward to my first public appearance where I have the books in my hand. That way, when someone comes up to me and buys the book and I sign it and I pass it to them, and I could say, the fate of the realm is in your hands.
Nice. Yes. Yes. And I love that. And, again, because we were talking about this, right now, with everything going on, you still don't really know where you're going to be able to do this.
No. And I unfortunately this year I was booked for like 4 or 5 different places, and over the time before a lot of this happened, there was a lot of things that just naturally, when you are dealing with life, and since I didn't really get to go anywhere or do anything, and, I didn't really have a lot of high sales, because I couldn't set up anywhere.
Right.
Last year there was a few places, but it still wasn't enough, really. And then my computer just...
Oh, my God, really?
Yes. And so, like, I was really needing to update my website, and it wouldn't do any more updates. I mean, it was taking 2 hours to charge just to get it to, but I mean, this was like from like 2008, 2010, somewhere in there that, it was purchased. My other little laptop that I had, my MacBook Air, I only used it for writing. So there was a space to hold pictures. I couldn't do anything. And then I wasn't able to do updates on it anymore. So I'm like, okay, I've got to think about my finances. I can't go and spend, even with a discount, I can't go and spend $700 a pop at a hotel.
Right.
And that's just a hotel. The estimate of how many days I need to be there and pay that. And I just can't do it. And I was really, I think the most sad I was is because, I was a guest at least at, 3 or 4 of these places. And I'm like, and it would be helpful to, have that to where, they take care of the hotel, even if I'm not getting like a per diem or any type of compensation that way, it would help if my hotel was covered, if I'm going to be a guest and whatever. And so, like, but I had to think of, like, look, I need a computer first.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get this book out. I've got to do this. I mean, I had a lot of things that I just really needed to take care of. And so I had to weigh these decisions. Look, I've got to get my website going because, I'm paying yearly for this and I can't even update it. I can go into my app on my phone and kind of make some changes in the store or something. And yeah, I could post something, like a column or something on my thing, but I can't post a picture. I can't do any of these things. And I had so many outdated things on my website that I didn't realize it was just that outdated, because I'm not doing the Dream Big show anymore. Like, I'm just totally giving up, because anywhere that I have even thought or considered to be like a venue, whenever I'd kind of contacted a few people, they were like, oh, well, we really feel like this is great, but we want to put somebody with you as a co-host, and we want to take over blah, 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 but we still want to charge you for being here and using the stuff. Oh, no.
No.
This is my baby.
Right.
I'm bringing somebody on, but I mean, it's my baby. And then I tried kind of pitching it to PBS and never really heard anything. And so it's like, okay, I'm just going to stop that right now. I don't have time. And being that a lot of the episodes were all the episodes were accidentally deleted from my YouTube channel.
Oh, no.
Where I just I give up. I'm done. So I just okay, so I'm revamping it. I'm going to go back for it to just be a column. So I always write, always dream big with, whenever I sign stuff, whenever I do stuff. That's always been my mantra, I guess.
Right.
See in the back of my wall, that's all dream big stuff.
You might as well have this trademarked at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Maybe when I am a rich author, I'll have that as my trademark. But
absolutely.
But right now it's okay, I'm just going to go back to my roots of just writing, and I'm dabbling into filmmaking and dabbling into things like that. So I've done since COVID, because what else are you going to do? But
right.
I have one that's out on the Machario Productions YouTube channel. That is An Affair to Remember. I tried submitting to a few film things, festivals, but didn't get in because everybody, I guess, was filmmaking in 2020.
Yeah, that's all they were doing, yeah.
2021, it was so bombarded with all kinds of everyone submitting their film that, I wasn't in amongst the realm of getting in there. I was nominated by a couple places.
Really?
But, yeah, I got in as a submission, on one, but I didn't win anything, so I didn't say anything about it. It wasn't a big deal. The second one is done, and it's been submitted to a few film festivals, and it is An Affair to Forget, and it's a sequel. I'm hoping I have a script for the prequel. So hopefully I can get that filmed at some point once all of the excitement of book 2 is done and it's officially out, and and so just whenever there's a little bit more time, because right now it's film festival season, so
right.
Everybody's filming for all of the major, Tennessee 10, and soon it will be all the other film festivals with a 7-day shootout and all these other things, and then there's the horror film festival. So it's everybody's going to be shooting for all of these things, and I'm probably not going to find any help to shoot my little film, so I'll just wait. Wait and sit on this script.
Right.
It's not going anywhere.
It'll be there. It'll be there.
I want to see how this film does. It's set like 6 months later from the first film, so I'm pretty excited about it, and I like being a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy acting, but I was also dabbling as a director. So I really like that too.
Right? See, I've never been interested in directing because I feel like, I mean, I do a little directing for this show and for the videos that we make on our page on YouTube, and I'm like, I couldn't handle big scale directing because that drives me nuts. The little silly things that we do drives me nuts. So I can't even imagine doing it on a film.
It's neat. Like, yeah. I just kind of wanted to test the waters to see how I liked it first, and do it that way. But I really felt like being able to tell the story in not just one way, not just writing it down. You know, I wanted to portray the character. I wanted to also direct the characters. You know, I wanted to put a little bit more emphasis in it. And I mean, I had the best help and the best crew and the best everything. And so I really hope that, you know, we can get picked up because they put a lot of hard work into it. You know, I just shake and baked and I helped. I mean,
but yeah, I mean, that's an amazing thing. To get a film done in any capacity is an accomplishment within itself. So I mean, that alone has got to make you feel good.
Now I'm not technical savvy at all.
I pretend like I am, but sometimes, it's fine.
Yeah, not yet to the point of actually filming,
right?
Or any of that stuff yet. I have equipment for it now, sort of.
Ooh, good.
Well, I mean, I've got a new phone, I finally got a new computer, I finally got a new iPad, and finally got all these things that, you know, kind of coincide with one another and can do things and, you know, do cool things, and I just haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
You know, I finally got the website updated decently. You know, I made all my modifications, my changes. I put a lot more into my author page. So now my author page, you have links to pre-order the new book. You have links to order the existing book. You have links to go into my store. Like, it just skips over to my store.
Right.
You can get an autographed copy of my book, and I will ship it to you. I mean, of the first one, of course.
Yes.
Now, when the second one is out on June 21st,
we'll start that process. Yes.
Out too, but I mean, you still have links to all the other things, and then there's a link to the 7-Star Press website, and then there's the link to go to my other YouTube channel. Yes, I have one of those.
Yes.
And the direct video that you can clip onto to watch the book trailer for book 1. I am planning and hoping I can have a book trailer for the second book, but I haven't gotten that far yet.
We're working on it. We're progressing to that point. It's going to get there. Yeah. It's
like I'm baby stepping it. Just because the book in itself is so epic. I mean, and that's just, I know it's just my being biased, but I mean, there is just so much to it. And I really feel like I won't disappoint the readers.
You won't, because, especially if it's anything like the first book, there is no disappointment at all.
And no one will get bored for any time because, like, it is way longer than the first book. So if you thought the first book was kind of long, like, I've got a copy of my author copy sitting here.
Right.
Okay, I've got an author copy.
Right. There it is.
That was printed. So it is my personal copy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how many pages it was just on the just on the thing, scale of things.
Just to give you an idea.
303 pages.
All right. See, there you go.
Just double this.
Right. Oh my God. See now, but see, that's what a story is supposed to do. It's supposed to start off a little bit big, and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger as the series goes on. That's what it's supposed to do.
You know what's kind of crazy is like, I don't think book 3 is as long as book 2. I don't think so. No, but not by much. There's just so much when you kind of get in the middle of a story, because right now, I mean, it's a 3-book series. Technically, that's done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to see book 3 for like a year. But like I said, I had a lot of time on my hands within 9 years of waiting to get the first book published.
Sure.
Pouring out of me. But, with book 2, there was so much to tell. Like, so much to show that in the span of time of the things that Princess Illyria had to go through and what she had to do in order to get from what she didn't get finished in book 1. And I don't feel like it leaves like a serious, well, it does leave a cliffhanger, but it's not one of those that's like, what?
Right.
You left me here? It's not like watching the end of like Game of Thrones or Outlander or any of these shows that are on TV right now that just leaves such a cliffhanger.
Right.
Like, what? I want to leave that kind of, wonderful ending. Like, I totally fell in love with Last Kingdom, and I honestly can't wait to read the book series.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to go and take that and mark it off my checklist.
Go for it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still doing my Outlander collection. There's a new book and I don't have it. And it's just like the Alice Hoffman Practical Magic series. I was like, oh my God, like I'm like 3 books behind. How did this happen?
Well, because you've been busy, that's why.
So, like, I'm not going to give a spoiler to The Last Kingdom at the end of season 5, but there was such a wonderful ending. Like, such a wonderful ending. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'd ever seen something summed up so beautifully. And I'm like, goals. But you know what? I kind of feel like I did that in the first book,
right,
where you have a nice, pleasant ending to be like, I did this. And my character can sit back and say, I did this, even though it wasn't the way I would have preferred it to turn out. I did my thing. Mm-hmm. A lesson, but I know I still have more to do, and I'm going to be prepared for it. But then we get into book 2, and she's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yes, I don't know what's going on. It's all just happening.
What just happened? And so you get more of the finally get to those premonitions she had in the first book.
Really?
Yeah, think of all those premonitions she had in the first book.
Those were quite a few, actually. Yeah.
Actually didn't happen by the end of the first book. That kind of left you like,
Mm-hmm.
We're having these premonitions, and this hasn't happened yet. When's this going to happen? Because this is a premonition. Yep, book 2.
It's all happening. It's all coming out.
At readers,
yeah.
So I'm not leaving you hanging for 2 years without giving you something just spectacular.
There's plenty coming.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait.
I love it. And yeah, because there was so much going on in the first one, and so much to build up to for the second one, for sure. So this will be interesting to see what happens in the Face of the Realm. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yes, I think the Fate of the Realm is one of those books that it's like a roller coaster for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been on a roller coaster.
Oh no, that's blasphemous. You need to get on a roller coaster.
But I could only imagine that this is what this is like for someone that's been on a roller coaster. Those ups, those downs, those twists, those turns. You're going so fast and you don't know whether you want to laugh, cry, or throw up. I'm not saying that, the readers are going to throw up. But,
I'm not saying you're going to vomit. I'm just saying.
No, but it's going to be like that intense feeling in your guts that you're like, wow, this is intense.
Right.
That's what I was going for.
And that's the way books should be. And stories like this, I mean, it deserves that type of roller coaster. I mean, you want that type of roller coaster of emotions going through you as you read it. The first one definitely gave that to you, and I can't even imagine what the Fate of the Realm is going to bring. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, so you've given us an idea of what the future holds, but what's the overall outlook? When will the series be complete, do you think?
I don't know. Right off the top of my head, I am for sure signed for 6 books. And that's kind of what I had in mind initially, thinking, 6 books. We can kill Raw in 6 books.
Mm-hmm.
No. Thinking 9.
Wow.
I think the magic number. But there's also so much for a little bit of everything.
Right.
Like I've always mentioned in book 1 that, there's some characters that, one day they will be known as, this person,
right,
or they is this person. There's a lot for spin-offs. There's a lot for a prequel. I mean, there's so much, and there's so much that even I think that I could really keep going, to be honest. Especially whenever it gets a little bit more into after what happens in book 3 and where I'm going with book 4.
Okay.
So it's going to be like, what?
Complete 180 all of a sudden. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yes.
So you're going full on Star Wars. You're like, we're doing 9 episodes and we're going to have spin-offs. We're going to have a new...
little thing.
Right.
I mean, there's so many great authors out there. And the things that they do is just like, oh, that's so awesome. And then you took this character over here and that character over there, and you give that character his own series.
Right.
Like, hey!
Yeah.
How brilliant is this? And, sometimes whenever you don't get a chance to read something, and maybe you hadn't heard of it,
mm-hmm.
and then TV series, and you watch the TV series, you're like, damn, that was good. I can't wait to read the books.
Right. Yeah, right.
And you're collecting them, like, little bit by little bit. I got a little money here. I'm going to go to the bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a collector, and so, like, I might collect an entire series before I start reading it, because I don't want to be, like, stuck after reading, like, a book and then not have, like, the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that?
Right.
Like, I want all of it. And I'm really hoping that since I'm the baby series coming out into the world,
right,
that people won't do like I did. Don't do this, ladies and gentlemen. Do not start a series without having the rest of the books on your phone. Get them on there.
That's right.
Don't wait until, like, you're just, dang, I finished reading this book and there's a blizzard.
Yeah.
And you have, like, means to go out in this blizzard.
and now, look, you're stuck with no reading material. How could you? How could you?
I know. So that you pick up the Amulet of Elements, like, contact me. I'll get you an autographed copy. I have like a box of them here in my closet.
She'll personally trudge out into a blizzard and bring it to you if you want her to.
Yes. Spot me some gas money.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to you. And then there's shipping. I can ship it to you.
Right.
And then if that doesn't work for you, if you just want a digital copy, I can hook you up with jump cards.
Right.
Ship those to you too. And then there's also Amazon. There's Barnes & Noble.
Mm-hmm.
There's Books A Million. You can go into any of these stores and say, would you order me the Amulet of Elements? And they'll find it for you. It may not be in the store, but they'll get it for you.
Right.
Or online, have it shipped to your house.
It's simple. It's simple. But you have no excuse.
And there's so many, even Walmart. You can go on to Walmart.com and you can order the Amulet of Elements.
Yeah. Target.
If you prefer Target over Walmart. There's Obu. There's there's so many different book outlets that you can go to, and you can type in the Amulet of Elements and you can order it.
There's really no excuse.
Set up somewhere. The next time I'm set up somewhere, you can bring it and I will autograph it for you. Because one of these days, I'm going to be like J.K. Rowling. I'm not even kidding. I'm going to get there.
I believe it.
I'm going to get there with this book series.
Absolutely.
So all of these early books, especially the first printing, the first 50 books that I ordered and I set up shop, I was autographing them with the date. If you came to my book signing the first time around, I put where it was. Mm-hmm. Because one of these days, these first editions.
That's right.
Especially the ones that I kissed prior to COVID.
Yes. I have one of those. Yes.
Now I'm just going to have to get a stamp, I guess. I'm just going to have to get a lip stamp made. And
or you can find a way to put lipstick on a mask and then go into it that way or something like that.
I don't know.
Something.
I'm just stamp it.
Well, stamp it. That'll work too. Done. I'm going to do a lip imprint on something. There you go.
It out. I'm going to have a little stamp made, and I'm going to bring me some red ink and be like, there you go.
There it is. Nailed it. Done. She's not. Look, she's not going to leave you hanging. Is basically what she's saying. Not going to do that. No.
Not going to leave. So, and I'm going to try to get some goodies printed for this one, just like I did with the first one. I mean, I always, if you buy a book from me personally, if I'm at a convention or even if I ship to you, you're going to get a matching beautiful bookmark of this wonderful work that was done by Randy Humphrey, and the beautiful Amulet of Elements that was created by Ashley Burt. I mean, you're going to get this beautiful artwork. And then I do have something a little special for the second book.
Ooh.
And it is, and I could even show you exclusively here. Hang on a second. No, they're not, I don't think that I have them on the little loop things, but hang on.
We have to see it now. We have to see this.
Gotta see it now.
We gotta see it now. You built it up this much. Now we gotta know. And if it's anything like the tchotchkes we got with the first book, I mean, it's got to be exciting because we got some cool stuff with the first book.
I'll even dress one up for us.
Ooh.
Hang on, just give me.
Give her a second. She's gonna show the world here.
Yes, so I'm really excited about these. Now, these aren't an exact perfect replica of the pendant of the Yggdrasil tree that is on the front cover.
What?
But it is really close, and Ashley Burt did such an amazing job on these. I cannot tell you. I just have to show you.
We have to see it. Yes.
gotta see it to believe it. Okay, Are you ready?
Yeah. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, so these will be available on sale after the book's officially out on my store.
What?
And or I'll have them with me whenever we go to, like whenever I'm set up at places. But let me get that really in the camera.
Look at that. That is gorgeous.
But isn't that pretty?
It's beautiful.
A lovely...
Oh, man, I love it. Folks,
Yes.
you're getting all kinds of fun stuff with this book.
Huh?
So you're getting the public's getting all kinds of fun stuff with this book.
Yeah, yes, and I am just super stoked to like maybe try to have some other goodies and things like that with it. And it's been years of just saving, planning, doing things, as much as I possibly can to have little collectibles along with it. And I have ideas for more, but not the finances.
Right,
so, baby steps. I don't want to do like a GoFundMe or anything like that. I reinvest in myself. I take everything that I make from my sales, whatever, and I just reinvest in other things. Mm-hmm. I don't even pay myself. I just reinvest.
But that is the power of an artist. You put all your money and all your energy into your art.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the way it should be.
Yes. So aside from that, the only other thing is I finally got back together with Bob Cassidy on that new shoot that we did. I don't know if you've seen my Flying Witch.
I have, and it's a wonderful shot. If you've not seen it, go check out her social media. It's a fantastic shoot.
And then, of course, I do my nod to the awesome Wicked Witch of the West photo, and there's more to come.
Ooh.
It takes time. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into the editing process with those images, and Bob Cassidy does such a phenomenal job. He's so talented when it comes to, putting me in such an epic background.
Because the pictures are always top notch.
Always wanted to do that. I've always seen those cool images of flying witches over the moon, and I'm like, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. I want to be me.
Right. And
Bob made this dream come true for me. Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
And like I said, it looks amazing. If you haven't seen it, you need to go check that out because it's a fantastic shoot, and she looks phenomenal.
I don't believe it or not.
And do what? Say it again.
Got it in this room.
No kidding.
It's from this set. Was shot in this room.
Wow.
In places in my room. Mm-hmm. So.
So, if you haven't figured it out, Rose Marie Machario is a student of many talents and many arts, and she's proven that conclusively for many years now. And and if you've not read the Amulet of Elements, you need to check it out now. It's available, like we said, everywhere. There's no excuse for you to have not read this book. Now you can't be as cool as me to have like a first edition with the kiss and the bookmark. Sorry, you can't be as cool as I am. But you can still get your own. And if she's out on location, she will sign it for you. So you can have all of that.
House, I've got the order here.
That's right.
Lee's house. I will take it to the post office personally and ship it to you.
She will say, here's your book. That's all you have to do.
Yes.
And then on June 21st, do it all over again because the Fate of the Realm is...
And they pre-orders right now.
There's pre-orders.
Right now on Amazon. You just got to go to Amazon, type in my name. Hell, you could type it into Google right now, and it will pop up the Amazon link, If you've not seen it posted on my website, if you've not gone to Seven Star Press and gotten a link from them, if you've not gone to my website, rosemariemachario.com, and gone to my store. And
when you type in her name, boom, 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 website, Amazon, it all comes right. There's really no excuse to not find her.
Yes. My name is my brand.
Yeah, it is.
I stand behind, my name.
Yeah.
So
and as well you should, because like I said, the first book is amazing. The second book's going to be even more amazing, as you've stated. And the series is far from finished. We have so much more to go. And, I mean, there's just so much more to come. And that's really the definition of Rose Marie Machario, is there's so much more to come. It never ends.
We can all be magic of the chosen ones.
Bingo! You said it! You said it! Exactly! And so there you have it. I mean, that's where it's at. Rose Marie Machario is... I mean, you are the princess. You really are. From that story, let's face facts. You are her. You're as magical as she is.
I try.
You do, and you do well. You do well. So... mark it on your calendars. June 21st. Pre-order now if you want to. But The Fate of the Realm gets released on June 21st. And then just keep an eye out on all of her social media. Promote your social media where everybody can find you at.
Yes. I'm on Facebook. I am on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram and Twitter. I have not branched out besides those yet, even though everyone's asking me for a TikTok and all of these things, but I'm like, I don't have time.
And let me tell you, I take it from somebody who attempts TikTok. It takes time to come up with fun videos to do. Like I might do one every once in a blue moon, but it's only if I have like, oh, that's a good idea, I'll just do it.
Right. I have like, it would be a lot more comical if I filmed my dog Thor doing stuff, but
you'd be surprised at how quickly famous you can become on TikTok with great animal videos.
Yes. So I want to do like little bits at a time. He's really camera shy, so I have a hard time getting pictures out of him. I'd have to be like I was. I don't know if I posted it yet, but I've got a video of him, like, I have a little animatronic Baby Yoda, and I floor, and he's always interested in the one that I have on my couch.
Right.
But I have one that, like, moves and, raises its arms and makes all kinds of noise and stuff, and so he'll just look at it. And he's just so concerned, and he tried to touch it with his paw. Would just be so gentle with something so small,
right?
In a part that's not even alive. So I can only imagine how gentle you would be with like small children or other small. I mean, he's all right with my cats, but. He's more scared of the cats.
Well, let's face facts. Who's more in charge there? Yeah.
Yes, the cats. I have one kitty. Her name's Freya, and she's like way more in charge. Like her nickname is Murder Mittens.
Oh my God.
And birds and all these things. Like, here you are.
Right. Here you are. No, our cat Teeb's the cat. She's without a doubt in charge of the whole household. So much so that we made her the symbol of our production companies. I mean, that's the way it has to be because she is the HBIC, as we say. I mean, that's without a doubt.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, Rose, thank you so much for being on the show as always. You have enlightened us. You have brightened our day. It's always so much fun when you're here. And hopefully a pandemic will stay away so that you can finally build your empire because you were getting there and it's stupid COVID. You would be J.K. Rowling. You wouldn't even given me a second thought. You'd be on Colbert, Fallon, Kimmel right now if it wasn't for the pandemic. But the pandemic hit, so you got to start over. It's fine, but you're going to get there because dream big, right?
Yes, I will always come back and be on your show.
Well, thank you. Well, you heard it here first. But we've been speaking to the great Rose Marie Machario on the Smokin' Hot Toddcast.